Hi, ladies. Welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about goddess energy incarnate, and that is why men love ruthless women. Okay. So goddess energy incarnate or embodied is when you have taken the goddess energy that you have into your body. It's no longer a concept, but you actually are goddess energy incarnate. So you are ruthless. So ruthless is not rude, does not mean evil, right? So why men love bitches? Why men and everyone else loves ruthless women? Because ruthless, what it means is dream girl. Because dream girl, what she is a woman that said no to the things that don't serve her, to the people that don't serve her purpose or mission, to accomplish herself. Okay? So I'm not talking about using people, no. I'm saying that for you to become dream girl, you're going to have to say no to a lot of things. For example, you're going to say no to time wasting with men after men after men. No to, if you want to become, an accomplished businesswoman, you're going to have to say no to watching TV all day. Okay? So, dream girl is a girl who summoned everything that is to go after her dreams. Dream girl fulfilled her dreams. Okay? She went after all her manifestations, so she's not frustrated. She is fulfilled and happy, or in the process of that. Okay? In the middle of that, like a lot of us are, right? Dream girl is a happy girl who fills her cup. If you're someone who came from a background of people pleaser or a background of, the girl that was too nice syndrome, then this video is for you, right? Maybe you think that you are not people pleaser anymore, but this is food for thought. If you have not become ruthless in saying no to anything that is not for you, then let's think about it. So the girl that is too nice, she has been spending time filling other people's cup from an empty cup with nothing. Okay? This girl, she talks about sacrifice to her children, to her husband, to her family, her friends, and everyone else but her. She's a girl that has no time for makeup. The girl has no time to take a bath. The girl who has no time for herself because she gives it all away to everyone else. She's selfless. Is she a hero? I don't think so. I'm going to tell you why. Your kids and everyone else wants to see you happy. Okay? And going back to this. So cool, nice girl, she cannot pour from an empty cup. She cannot be realized and fulfilled when she doesn't choose herself. Okay? So When you are on a plane, they ask you in the event of an emergency to put your mask on first and then help the children. Okay? So you got to save yourself first so you can save others. Okay? So when you were a people pleaser, or still are, you are saving others when you are drowned yourself. Okay? The truth is that nobody admires sacrifice when you sacrificed yourself. Yes, you will be thanked, right? But I don't admire that, and I don't want to be like that. And people don't love that. People love bitches, and men love bitches especially, right? They love dream girl. Now, there's something disingenuous about the girl that is too nice, the people pleaser. She's not quite authentic. And again, I say this with love, not with judgment. This is a place for reflection and food for thought and inner work. And all of this stuff is kind of designed to trigger you into thinking about this. Okay? So a lot of the stuff I say might be triggering to you. And that's pretty much the purpose of it, that you can reflect on this stuff. So anyway, continuing with what we were saying, there's something disingenuous, fake about being too nice, because everything that exists is half and half, or there's a duality to everything. There's night and day, there's light and dark. Okay, so this is a dark feminine incarnate, a ruthless girl, ruthless woman. Okay, highly, highly magnetic and desirable. Why? Because she loves herself above anything else. First comes my self-love, and then I can love you once I love myself, so that you can therefore love me back. Okay? So there's a duality in nature where if you're too nice, when you shouldn't be too nice, you're not being real. You're not being real, because it's natural to be angry. It's natural to dislike something. It's natural to say, no, I don't want this. I can't. Right? And ruthless girl, she says the word I can't a lot. I'm going to give you an example. No, I can't pay the bills. I can't. To your boyfriend, husband, whatever. I can't. Why? Because I desire a masculine protector and provider. I can't. I have the ability. I do. But I am enabling a dynamic where I will be the masculine and he will be the feminine if I continue to pay the bills, or, I'm the leader of the house being a woman. Okay, the tangible, literal leader being a woman. So you're gonna have to say, I can't. No, I won't. Okay, you're gonna have to say no to the people that are not your people. Okay, the people that are not your people are people that are not that into you. the friends that are envious of you, perhaps, or the man that is hot and cold, the man that is not that into you. You're going to have to say no and say yes to you. Because again, dream girl, ruthless girl, she is happy. She is fulfilled. She has a full cup. She can fill her cup. Okay. She can pour from that overflow rather than from an empty cup where you're pouring nothing. Okay. So you're not really taking care of others when you didn't take care of yourself. Okay. So, but going back to the example, no, I can't pay bills. Well, all of a sudden, somebody steps up. Okay. Steps up and wants to take care of that family and wants to take care of you. And you're going to feel like what you were looking for. Okay. You're going to be adored. You're going to feel like a woman, not like another man or a roommate. Okay. You're not going to feel like, you know, a roommate. So it's natural to dislike things. It's natural to want different things. And you're not natural if you say yes to everything. If you're a yes girl, it's natural to say no. And it's real. And you become authentic. Okay? Authentic is highly magnetic. Why? Because you know what? If you don't like me, that's totally fine by me. Okay? So not everybody wants what you have to offer. And that's totally fine. Because otherwise the world would be super boring. Everything would be the same. But you are looking for your people, those that love you and that are crazy about you. For those that are in your same frequency. For example, if you're someone that loves to be depressed or loves to suffer, okay, take this with a grain of salt. You're going to find people that resonate with you. If you're someone who loves to go out and get it and, manifest your dreams and co-create your life, there's going to be people that are your people that resonate with that. People that are in the same vibration, that are in the same energy as you. So you are to get together with your own people. Okay? So it's not necessary for you to be liked by everyone. It's not natural. It's not, we would all maybe like that, but we got to understand that it's not the way things are. Like, it's totally fine if you're not liked by everyone. It's the normal thing. Okay, so now let's talk about when you have not embodied ruthless, when you are still that people pleaser at the core. If you find yourself talking about this nonstop, everyone you see, you talk about how you're not here to please people anymore. You're not here for everyone anymore. You just talk about it nonstop. So when you're talking about something nonstop, is because you haven't embodied that, right? So another way, let me talk about this one real quick. So in my practice, I find a lot of women that are in the process of stopping being a people pleaser. Okay. So something they do is that they start being rude to everyone they know. So for example, they'll start to, like, if they get a text or a call, they'll leave people on red. They will put their phone on silence and be like, no, I'm never going to answer my phone. I'm gonna only call them, right? Like whenever I want, and that kind of thing. Like, yeah, sure, like that can be something. But when you're doing this to everyone, just kind of thinking this is going to make you ruthless, and you just started doing that to everyone, it's kind of like, I'm not really buying that. I'm like, yeah. It's something superficial that, stuff like that, when you're purposely leaving one, like everyone on red, like your best friend, you leave them on red, right? Because, yeah, I don't need to answer to everyone. Like, yeah, we know, like, that's obvious, right? But you feel like doing those things are making you like ruthless. It feels more like rude. So things like that, right? When you just kind of, it reminds me when a dog has a new toy that won't, won't drop it because it's new, like a new concept. So now you're overusing it. So you are overdoing it. Like, you're overdoing it to the point where it's actually rude, right? Saying no, you can be courteous and, polite about things, because don't get confused. Ruthless doesn't mean not being polite. Like, for example, say you don't have time to answer at the moment. That's one thing. You can say, hey, I was driving or whatever, right? Like, I don't know, something that shows that you're not being inconsiderate. Because again, ruthless is not about being inconsiderate. So don't get these two confused. Ruthless is about the big picture of your survival before you can live for others. You know what I mean? Like filling your own cup and realizing your own dreams and life purpose before, trying to do it for others. Or, for example, not using others as an excuse to not go after what you want. For example, I can't have a business because I have kids. Well, there's plenty of women out there with kids that have successful businesses. So again, it's not about, any of this. So don't confuse these two concepts, right? Of, being unpolite or rude or any of that to being ruthless. That's not what we're talking about, and that's not that energy, like, certainly, right? Another iteration of non-embodiment of this concept is when you're fighting everyone. You think that you will be a doormat if you don't argue back, if you don't enter into a fight, right? I had someone in my practice some time ago say, I was like, okay, so you're telling me all these fights and conflicts in your home with your husband. I'm like, why do you have to argue and fight back about everything? And she's like, oh, if I don't fight back, then I'm a doormat. I'm like, no, 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 you're getting it wrong. Or, what it means to be ruthless and a bitch, if you will, or someone who respects herself, is that you will remove yourself from any situation that is harmful for you. If you have someone attacking you, you remove yourself from that situation and never see them again, right? If someone is commenting on your social media, some rude comment, block. You're gone, okay? If you have a guy that you went on a date with and he was kind of, kind of rude, or, taking the test to just to, he crossed the line, like, you never see him again. For example, if you go on a date, this guy doesn't pay for that meal or date, whatever, I'm never seeing him again. Why? Because he's not trying to impress you. He's not really into you. Why do you want to see someone that is not into you? Right? So, yeah, I was talking about ways in which you're talking about how, how tough you are now, or whatever, what a goddess you are now, when you haven't embodied that as ruthless. Okay. So if you had friendships that, were not nice to you, you have to leave them behind. If you had anyone that is not your people, and your people are those who love you, your people are those who are on your side and that want to see you succeed. They want the best for you. They're happy for you. They're genuinely happy for your success. Okay? So you're going to have to say no to that. So why men love ruthless women? Because they put themselves first. Why? Because that way they're happy. That way they are fulfilled. That way they can be their own dream girl. Like, I have to be my own dream girl before I can be anyone else's dream girl. You know what I mean? So back to the old concept of you have to love yourself before others love you. That's it. That's really it. Loving yourself before you love others, right? This way they will mirror back to you that love for your own self, right? So let me see what else I wrote here. Yeah, so I wrote here, trying too hard. That's one of the non-embodiment, signs, or signs that you have not embodied, ruthless or goddess energy, right? When you're trying too hard. Okay, so yeah, don't talk about it, be about it. One last thing I want to talk about. So a lot of times your culture can condition you into people pleasing. So I'll talk about my own experience with that. I come from the Mexican culture, and I was born and raised in Mexico until I was 20. Okay, so I grew up, the Mexican culture, the Latin culture is super social, highly, highly social. And that can translate into people moving in groups and herds quite a bit. And I remember I was literally born ruthless. I was very much like, nope, I don't want this. This is not good for me. That was my nature. And growing up, I was conditioned into not, having that connection to self, really, right? In that And again, I'm sure like everybody like deals with this to some degree, but it's very common in cultures like the Indian culture, Italian, like any of the Latin cultures, where people move in herds, where there's a lot of social component. And I would say no to, I don't want to hang out with this person. It's not a match. I don't want to hang out with them as a child, as a teenager. And I would be forced into being with these people because if I didn't, then I'm bitch. Then I'm asshole, right? No, you're bitch if you say no to the things you don't want. So growing up, I felt guilty about saying no to people and things, right? Because, oh, I'm being bitch. I'm being not tolerant. And, I've always, this is something that I teach and promote, that you should always go away from the environment that you grew up in for you to gain, perspective, and for you to have space to breathe and decondition yourself from anything that doesn't serve you. So I I did that, right? Because there was like a guilt about following my own intuition into doing the things that I didn't want to do. Like, for example, and again, I'm sure everybody deals with this, but it can really translate into things, right? Like being forced to go to church, being forced to do things that, just hanging out with people you don't want to hang out. Like, for example, in Mexico, they stay at parties, until it's like 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 4 a.m. And for a young child, for a teenager, that's not, healthy. Even if you're sleeping somewhere, falling asleep somewhere, right? So I was conditioned growing up to being guilty about putting myself first. I never stopped doing that. I never stopped saying no. And I never stopped literally like getting into trouble for saying no. I don't want this. I don't want to go here. I don't want to hang out with these people, right? I'd rather be at the gym than be out with your church friends, right? That kind of stuff. So your culture can condition you into doing things that you don't want. Like, for example, into literally people pleasing, because that's what it is, right? So, for example, in the Indian culture, in some, circles, it's frowned upon to do online dating. They're going to see you as a slut, right? I know because I've had clients and friends that came from that culture, and there was a lot of stigma around online dating and that stuff, right? So you have to step away from your culture to be able to confidently say, no, this is me, and take it or leave it. And, maybe not necessarily you might have to step away, but it's a quicker way for you to do this quicker, right? So I stopped feeling guilty about, you know, saying no. Like, I would still say no. I would still go ahead being called, a bitch or whatever, to me it was a good thing. Why? Because I was saying yes to soul rather than saying yes to you, just because you wanted me to say yes, right? So I always stayed true to myself, but it came at the price of being called a bitch. I didn't care. I felt guilty, It didn't feel good on a superficial level, but I stayed genuine to myself. That's kind of, it's kind of hurtful. It's, it gives you a degree of sadness, when you're younger and when you don't know better, right? But now, like, I stopped feeling guilty about it in my 30s, right? So now I'm almost 39, and I don't give up an F about if you think that I'm a bitch or that I'm ruthless. Well, guess what? The people that are my people, they love me the way they are, the way that I am. And I want that for you, okay? That you only love those who love you, and that you say yes to you before like in any area of your life, be it in business, right? In business, this translates as boundaries. You're gonna have to say no to certain clients, to certain deals that don't align with you and your mission, right? So in every area of your life, you're gonna be highly magnetic, and highly desirable if you say yes to you and no to what is not yours. Okay? And that is dream girl, the girl who is unapologetic about putting herself first, loving herself first, so that others can therefore, as a consequence, mirror that back to you, right? And that is being ruthless. Is having no tolerance and no mercy for what's not for you, for what is not aligned with you, because life's too short, right? So that is why men and everyone else loves and respects the ruthless woman. Okay? Put yourself first and your well-being. And a little tip, this is huge in dating and marriage and every aspect, right? It's what really is key for success. So anyway, ladies, yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about this topic. I talk about this topic very in detail and step by step, if you're dating for marriage and all that stuff, in my course that's coming out pretty soon here. So sign up for the email list, where you will get all the announcements and 50% off on launch, on the first 24 to 48 hours of launch. So make sure you're on that list if this resonates with you. And I'll talk to you later then. Bye now.